You're listening to the Online Marketing Made Easy podcast, episode number 201.
Welcome to the Online Marketing Made Easy podcast. Business advice so easy, you'll feel like you're cheating. And now your host, Amy Porterfield.
Well, hey there. Welcome back to another episode of the Online Marketing Made Easy podcast. I'm your host, Amy Porterfield, and I am thrilled that you are tuning in today. So the title of today's episode is a bit off-brand for me. 5 ways to make money online without using webinars. It's off-brand, of course, because I eat, sleep, and breathe webinars. Webinars are my number one battle-tested, most powerful strategy that I use in my business to sell my online courses. Truth be told, I think webinars are the best of the best. Now, I'm totally biased. I have a course called Webinars That Convert, and I've taught thousands upon thousands of people how to integrate webinars into their business to sell online training courses. However, I wanted to mix things up just a bit today and introduce some simpler strategies to generate revenue in your business. Now, before I do so, a few details that I want you to know about. Number 1, I'm going to introduce 5 ways to make money online that do not have anything to do with a webinar. However, keep in mind that I still believe webinars will be way more powerful and profitable than any of the strategies I'm going to share with you here today. So why the heck would I share these strategies with you if I don't think they're going to be as profitable as a webinar? Well, my friend, I believe in baby steps, and sometimes it's best to ease into the bigger strategies. Sometimes it's best to test out a simpler strategy just to get your feet wet, just to test out an offer. And then once you've nailed it, take things up a notch and move into the more robust and much more profitable strategies like webinars. Plus, I believe that webinars work best when you're selling a pre-recorded online course or a live online course that you release each week for over a series of maybe 4 to 8 weeks. But I also know that not everyone who listens to this podcast is ready to create a course. So that leads me to point number 2. Before I talk about the different ways to make money online, I thought it would be incredibly valuable if we talked about a few ways you can create an offer. Ways you can craft an offer with the content that you already have. And I'm not going to include creating an online course as one of those offers because I talk about creating online courses throughout so many of my other podcast episodes. So today, again, I'm going to focus on much simpler offers that you can get started right away. So first, we're going to dive into ideas for you to craft really awesome offers. And then we're going to get into the actual strategies to help you promote the offers. So for each, I'm going to give you an example. And I thought I would actually bring on a few of my friends to talk about how they specifically created some of these strategies and some of these offers so you can hear some real life examples. Now, before we get started, this episode is sponsored by Gravy. If you are one of my students, then you've already heard about the power of Gravy. Here it is. If you have a subscription model business or offer payment plans like I do for my online courses, you've got to listen up. Imagine having your own 24/7 US-based engagement team who contacts your customers within hours of their failed payments and captures updated billing information and saves the customer you worked so hard to acquire. That's exactly what Gravy does for me. On average, our failed payment recovery rate increased from 33% when we were trying to do it internally on our own to over 80%. That's a lot of saved payments. If your revenue is currently at $250,000 or more a year, and you know you're losing money due to failed payments each month, I encourage you to check out Gravy. And one more thing, Gravy does a lot to get all the technology set up on your back end. They do a lot of work to make sure all the automation is working well, and they take time to get their team up to speed on your business so they can save your payments. Because of that, they usually have a setup fee to get started. But because we are great friends with Gravy here over at Team Porterfield, they've created an Amy only offer. So when you go to allgravy.io/Amy, I'm going to say that one more time, allgravy.io/Amy, they will waive all the setup fees and costs to get started. This is huge, and it creates no barrier of entry for you to go ahead and start saving those failed payments. I'm going to link to Gravy in my show notes as well at amyporterfield.com/201. And I really, truly hope that you check them out. All right, so let's go ahead and dive into the different offers and the different promotional strategies to make money online. Let's start out with the 5 offers that you can create inside of your business. And as I go through each offer, I want you to think about content you've already created that you might be able to put into these different offers, or think about the content your audience has been dying for you to create, but you haven't yet created it because you didn't know how you wanted to put it all together. So think about the old content you've created in the past and the new content you want to create, and I bet it will get those creative juices flowing. Okay, so this first idea is to offer a review. Now, I have a personal example for this one. When I first started out in doing online marketing, I didn't yet have any online training programs to sell. So I started to get really into Facebook marketing right around the time that I co-authored that big yellow dummies book, Facebook Marketing All-in-One for Dummies. Feels like a lifetime ago. So because I was really into Facebook marketing and teaching Facebook marketing at the time, I decided that I would offer reviews of other Facebook pages for small businesses. Now, at the time, this is many years ago, Facebook pages were very new to most small businesses. They didn't really know how to use them. They were way more popular and way more effective back in the day. So you definitely wanted to get more engagement on your Facebook page. You wanted to make sure it was well branded. You wanted to make sure that you had all the bells and whistles that you could have on your page. So I charged $297 per review. And this is what it included. First, I reviewed the page and I took a bunch of notes on my own just so I could point out some of the things that I would want to talk about inside of the review. So I just went through everything on the Facebook page. I had access to the back end, so I would go into the back end. And at the time, they didn't offer many insights like they do now, but I did my best with going through any insights they did offer and looked at all of the engagement. I looked at all their posts, everything about the Facebook page, and I took my own notes. And then from there, I created a detailed report, something that I actually would type up. It was probably 3, 4, maybe 5 pages, depending on how many examples and images that I added to the report. Now, after I had done this a few times, I designed a template for myself. So I got really good at these reviews and I went through them really quickly because I had a template that was broken out into different sections that I wanted to focus on. In the beginning, it took me longer, like everything does in the beginning. But again, I put this report together in a Google Doc and I would, again, type out all of the notes and I would organize it in certain sections. And then if I wanted to show them an example of, let's say, somebody else's Facebook page that's doing it better or something that they could model, I would take snapshots. I'd pull the snapshots into the Google Doc. So I would really make it something that I'm not just telling them what to do, but I'm showing them a bunch of examples as well. Now, after I created the written review, I recorded a screen capture video where I was on their Facebook page. So they were watching a video where I was navigating through their page and I was pointing out some of the most important aspects of their Facebook page, areas that they can improve, things that they could do better, or they could take to the next level. And so I wanted them to hear my voice. I wanted them to see what I was talking about as I was discussing all the tweaks, changes, and suggestions that I had for them. So I was pulling from the written report, but then I was going a little bit deeper with the conversation on the ScreenFlow video. So for $297, they got a Google Doc with all the details of ways to improve their Facebook page with tons of examples included. And then they also got a screen capture video from me to walk them through some of the areas that I wanted to dive in a little bit deeper. I think the video made it even more personal for them. So I did many reviews back in the day, and this is how I supplemented my revenue when I wasn't making a lot of money and I had a few clients. I was doing their social media, but I didn't yet have an online course. So I needed to make more money, and these reviews were really lucrative in the sense that I wasn't making 7 figures with them. However, I was able to bring in a little extra cash each month, and that at the time felt very lucrative to me. A little goes a long way when you're just starting out. Okay, so that is offer number 1, reviews. Let's move into offer number 2, and this one is all about creating customized plans. So customized plans can work for so many different niches, including health and wellness, lifestyle coaching, business consulting, parenting, and so many more. So let's take an easy example. If you're a nutritionist, you could do customized meal plans that not only cater to the person's needs, likes, and dislikes, but you can also include shopping lists, recipes, and tips and tricks for implementation, ways to make it easier to meal plan. So one way to do this is to first get on a discovery call with the client. Then based on the intake information, you would draft a comprehensive and personalized plan. Then maybe you do one more follow-up after you put the plan together to walk them through all the details and answer any questions they may have. And then that can be your package, 2 calls and a customized plan. Now, this one is pretty self-explanatory. This is not a new idea. However, based on your niche, it might be something that you've never even thought about. I think it's really simple to think about if you are a nutritionist or in the health and wellness sector. But again, let's say you are in the parenting niche. Have you ever thought about creating a customized plan? Well, what you want to do is look at your content and think, is there a way to customize what I know to a person's specific situation, whether it be their likes, dislikes, needs, wants, fears, challenges, concerns, whatever it might be? Can you make it more personal after getting on a call with somebody? And could that be incredibly valuable for them? One thing I know for sure is that I would make a whole lot more money if I offered more one-on-one services. Now, I am just one person, and I'm lucky enough to have a really big audience. So I, 1, don't need to offer one-on-one to make the kind of revenue I'd like to make. 2, I couldn't serve that many people based on how many hours are in a day and what my business looks like today. However, back in the day when I was just starting out and I wanted to supplement my income, heck yeah, I would have considered something like this. If your audience is still very small, or if you're not making enough money doing what you're doing and you can find extra time to do something special like this, then by all means explore it. I say that when your audience is small, this is when you get to be more nimble. This is when you get to experiment even more. So don't look at your audience and think, I hardly have any people on my email list, or I don't have a big social media following. Instead, think, I'm going to one day have a really big social media following. I'm going to have a huge email list one day, and I could never just say, hey, reply back to this email, tell me what you think, and I'll respond to every single one who does. You'll get to a point in your business that ain't happening. And so when it can happen, that's when you start building customers for life. When you can experiment with something like a customized, personalized plan for 5 really awesome clients that you'd love to work with, and they pay you for something like this, and it's going to supplement your income, by all means, explore it. And let's say that you do already have a big audience, but this is something that really appeals to you. Well, then you put a really hefty price tag on it. That way, you're only going to attract people that are incredibly interested in working with you one-on-one. All right, let's move in to offer number 3. Offer number 3 is to create an online live workshop. Okay, this next one is probably my favorite of all the 5 offers I'm going to share with you today. Let's say you're not ready to create a full-out online course. Or maybe you have a course, or maybe you have a membership site, but you really want to drill down into one specific topic for just a few hours. A live online workshop is an awesome product that you can offer. Now, this is something that I'm actually considering doing in the future. I've talked about it a little, and I even teased you all with it in January. I had plans to do it in January, but then I looked at my promotional calendar and I thought, Amy, you are crazy. This is not the right time to be adding something like that to the mix. So my adult self had to say, no, this is not the time. However, it is something I want to do. So I'm crossing my fingers I can make it work this year. Now, back in the day, I did something similar to this, but since I haven't done an online live workshop in years and years, I wanted to invite somebody on my show that has recently done it a few times in their business and seen really great success. So you are going to get to hear from my friend, Tyler J. McCall. And Tyler is going to talk about his successful online workshops. And what I love is that he's going to talk to you about how he priced them. He's going to talk about the fact that he actually has a membership site, but he still was able to sell the online workshop to his current members because the content was aligned but didn't overlap. So that was awesome. He was offering something else to his existing students. He's going to talk to you about how he marketed it beyond his existing students. And he's going to talk about the fact that once it was done, he was able to sell it again and again and again in different ways, which I thought was really cool. I don't want to steal his thunder, so I'm going to let you listen to Tyler talk about his successful online live workshop offers.
Hi there, my name is Tyler J. McCall, and I'm an Instagram marketing strategist for creative entrepreneurs. You can find me online at tylerjmccall.com and also on Instagram at tylerjmccall. So recently I've been adding virtual workshops into my business model as a way to teach my students and my audience something that they can use in their business really quickly, that's highly actionable, and that does not require a ton of effort on my part as far as mapping out a lot of content, planning a huge launch, or creating a new course. So I did this at the end of 2017 and into 2018 by hosting 2 workshops so far, one around content planning and one about using Instagram stories. And I actually picked those 2 topics based on what my audience wanted to learn from me. I did some polling on Instagram stories and in my Facebook group just to better understand what they needed help with and how I could better serve them through a workshop-like model of teaching them. I asked them what they wanted to learn more about, and then I worked on creating the content and marketing the workshop to folks on Instagram, through my Facebook group, through my mailing list, and to members of my online membership community. That was a really great way to supplement the content they were learning in the membership community and also get some folks into this workshop at a discounted price. So I promoted the workshops to all of those people, and I hosted the workshops live using a Zoom room online. So no fancy technology needed, no webinar software, nothing like that. I literally just hosted them in my own personal Zoom room. I sent out the link to people who had purchased a ticket from my website, let them know the day and time, and they could come and watch live. It was also recorded, so all of the attendees got the audio and the video recording after the workshop was over. And then I also sold that audio and video recording after the workshop as well. The workshops were 90 minutes to 2 hours long. And as I said, I was focused on making sure the content was highly actionable, that it was results oriented, and it was an actual workshop. I wanted it to be filled with practical education and information that they could use really quickly to see results. And I just delivered this content live, direct to camera. I didn't use slides. I didn't use graphics or anything like that. I did actually do some screen sharing on my phone and on my computer as I was teaching them. And then, like I said, they had access to that video and that audio recording afterwards, so they could go back and watch it over and over again. One thing I did create for those who attended the workshop was a PDF workbook. It was filled with all of the material I was teaching, in addition to templates, worksheets, and a ton of different fill-in-the-blank prompts for them to use. So since this was a workshop, I didn't want this just to be content that they would consume. I wanted this to be content that they would interact with. So as they were watching, I was prompting them to go into their workbook, to work through the material I had written for them, to fill in the blanks, to complete the templates, to use the worksheets. So they were actually working during class instead of just consuming everything and then having to figure it out after class was over. So these students really came out of this experience with a ton of knowledge, but also with a plan that they could put in action almost immediately. I know our Instagram stories workshop, I had students messaging me on Instagram later that day saying they had done something differently on stories that exact same day, and they had already seen results either through more inquiries, through direct messages, through people just engaging with their content in ways they had never done before. And they walked away with that plan so they could implement things really, really quickly. So as I delivered the workshop, it was direct to camera. It was just live, me, a talking head to my webcam, nothing fancy. And I actually broke it down into 3 main parts. So we had an introduction at the beginning, just set some ground rules, what they could expect to experience. We had all of the education throughout the bulk of the workshop, of course. And then I left about half an hour at the end for live Q&A so I could answer their questions about the topic or any other questions they had related to kind of the realm of what we were talking about and what I was teaching them. And we also had a break in the middle because I was talking directly to them for 90 minutes to 2 hours. So I gave myself a little bit of grace and about a 10-minute break in the middle to get some water and freshen up before I kept teaching them. As I said, as I was writing the content, I wanted to make sure that the workshop was an actual workshop. So I didn't really run through topics really quickly. It wasn't necessarily high level. This wasn't always just strategy related. Instead, it was down in the weeds of doing the actual work of planning out a strategy. It was almost like I was working with someone one-on-one, walking them through a process and giving them the resources. But instead, I was doing this to a group of people in a room online. And I chose to do virtual workshops for a few reasons, and they fit really well into my business model for a few reasons. Firstly, I wanted something that was easy to create and implement. These workshops didn't require me to create a ton of content ahead of time. There wasn't a huge launch sequence. There weren't any slides. That really all I had to do was outline the content. I literally just opened up a note on my computer and on my phone and started outlining the content. I worked through what they were needing the most help with as I was hearing from people about what they wanted to learn. I pulled all my resources together. I outlined the content. I laid out the action steps kind of underneath each topic I was going to teach them about or each topic we would discuss. And then from the outline, I pulled the content to create the PDF workbook. So for example, if I wanted to talk about how to create a certain type of Instagram story, then in the PDF workbook, I would actually lay out that type of Instagram story and walk them through how to create it in the workbook itself. And then I taught them live, and then they had the workbook as a resource, so it laid it out for them. So it was really easy to create this content. I wasn't recording a ton of content ahead of time like I was doing a course. I wasn't doing a ton of videos live like I would be delivering maybe a group coaching program. Instead, there was just a one and done kind of thing in my business. I also wanted something that allowed me to make money beforehand. This was really important for me to make money before I delivered the product. And these virtual workshops were the perfect way to do it because all the tickets were pre-sold. And then since these workshops have finished, I've been selling the recordings on my website, and it's just great passive income coming into my business. And I really wanted to create something that my students could implement quickly. I didn't want this to be another course that they bought and put on a shelf. I didn't want this to be something conceptual that they learned about, but they didn't know how to apply it. I wanted them to come out of this experience with something actionable they could use. So in promoting the workshop and selling tickets, I actually sold tickets a few different ways. I sold early bird tickets about 2 to 3 weeks out from the actual live workshop date. These were half the price of the regular ticket. I promoted these online and to my mailing list that I had segmented down based on their interest. Then I sold standard tickets that were about a week before the live event. People could buy the standard ticket. And then I sold replay tickets that went online for sale immediately after the event finished. So the way the pricing worked out, for example, the Instagram Stories workshop was priced at $97 for the standard ticket. So folks who bought the early bird ticket got it for $49. And now the replay is on sale for $197. So that's how the pricing worked out for that live event. And then I also sold tickets to members of my membership community, and they could get in on the workshop for half price. So they got a discount code to get half off the cost of a ticket if they wanted to join in the workshop. and they can still purchase the replay and get access to that. As I was creating the content, I wanted to make sure it was really supplemental to what they were learning in the membership community, but it wasn't content that they would actually learn in the community. So there was a really great connection to the content. There was a great opportunity for our members. They could sign up for it. They could learn more and get more out of it, but they also didn't have to do it because they had a ton of content available to them in the membership community. So there was a great option for them there. Overall, both of these workshops have brought in nearly 5 figures, and these were just one and done type workshops. I promoted them for a few weeks on Instagram and in my Facebook group and through my mailing list. I sold the tickets pre-sale, I sold the live standard tickets, and then I've been selling the replay on my website as well. And then I have been marketing it up leading up to the workshop, and then every now and then I'll market it now to my mailing list, but it's not something I'm promoting as regularly as I was before. I loved doing these workshops because they were just so easy. They were so seamless and they fit perfectly into what I was doing. They didn't require all of the work and energy of plotting out a huge launch or creating a ton of content for a course or some kind of online program. Instead, it allowed these students to get in the doors, to learn something that was very actionable for them, to give them a plan that they could take away, that they could implement almost immediately for both of these workshops and start seeing results very, very quickly. Overall, they've been a huge success in my business. My students have loved them, and there's something I'll continue to do as a part of my business because of just how easy they are and how much results my students get from them.
Wasn't that so fantastic? Thank you, Tyler, for being so organized with your thoughts and sharing your experience with an online live workshop. I am so glad that you contributed to this episode. Okay, so moving on to offer number 4, create a template pack. So with a template pack, here you offer documents where your students can plug and play. So for example, my sweet friend Jenna Kutcher has a customizable media kit and brand style guide on her site. So for $39 all the way up to $79, you can buy her templates and have an instant resource that Jenny uses for her own brand. In that media kit, for example, she offers Photoshop and InDesign formats and instructions via a tutorial library on how to make the template your own. So I want you to think of your niche and what you're able to offer your clients. Think about the things they would love for you to do for them in advance. People love done-for-you options, and templates are a way to kind of meet them halfway there. You're not going to create the whole shebang for them, but you can create templates and sell them as a way of helping them get started without having to start from scratch. So give this one some thought. You might have a gold mine waiting for you right now that you've never even thought about. Template packs. This would be a really cool thing that you could sell on your website in addition to the other offers that you're making. Okay, so now we're moving into the home stretch with offers. Number 5, offer a small group coaching experience. Here you can grab, let's say, 5 to 7 students that you're going to coach personally, but of course in a group. Say you do a 90-day program with weekly coaching calls and maybe a few one-on-one calls every few weeks if you want to do that to make it even more personal. But you choose a topic, and then for the next 60 to 90 days, you drill down into that topic with a really small group. Now, the reason why I like this as an offer is because you don't have to do just one-on-one coaching that is very limited and not scalable, but instead you're offering more people to come into the mix, and you can create a small community and they can help each other while you're helping them. But I like the idea of making it over a concentrated period of time around a specific topic. So like I said, maybe 60 days or 90 days around a specific topic that everybody is struggling with or really wanting to get results in quickly. And so you're going to be the coach. I think this is a great way to put together an offer quickly. So there you have it, 5 offers that are not groundbreaking. This is stuff you've heard of before, but I always say you might have heard of these offers, but have you ever implemented any of them? Are you actually doing any of them in your business? If the answer is no, then this might be a game changer for you if you actually take action, which is what my podcast is all about. I always want you to leave feeling inspired, but also driven to take action immediately. So in order for you to do that, let me review these 5 different offer opportunities. Number 1, start doing some reviews. Number 2, create customized plans. Number 3, create an online live workshop like Tyler has done. Number 4, create some type of template pack or do it for you kind of package that you can put together to get your students started without actually having to do it all for them. So it's kind of staying away from the do it for you service-based business, but a template pack kind of meets them in the middle. And then offer number 5, a small group coaching experience. Okay, now we're moving into part 2 of this mini training, which is all about making money. This part is all about how to sell online without using a webinar. Now, I've already said it, but I can't help it. I've got to say it again. You know that I believe that a webinar strategy in your business can be incredibly lucrative for you. And I hope that you make it your goal within the next 6 to 12 months to add a webinar strategy to your marketing toolbox. Believe me, it is a game changer. But I also believe in baby steps. And if you're not ready to add a webinar strategy to your business, let's talk about some simpler ways that you can make money until you're ready to take the webinar leap and make it happen in your business. I'm going to go through 5 different opportunities to sell online. And opportunity number 1 is by far my favorite. It is so good. Okay, so a few things I need to tell you, and then I'm going to have my friend Rachel Perry, who has a business called Tag Team with her partner Amanda. And Rachel and Amanda did this email promotion and knocked it out of the park. I'm not going to ruin it for you, but they're talking big numbers. So I'm going to let Rachel explain to you what it looked like inside of their business, but a few things I want to let you know. Number 1, this idea of an email promotion is not anything new, and many people have done it. But Rachel learned from James Wedmore all about this strategy. And James talks about this strategy in a program he has called Business by Design, BBD. So that's where Rachel first learned about it. Plus, she's in the mastermind, so she learned about it in there as well. I want you to pay close attention to a few things. 1, she's going to talk about the number of emails she sent, and also she's going to talk about one training video that they created. The goal of the training video is to add value inside of your email promotion. So you're not just asking someone to buy something, but you're also linking to the video and you're offering value through that. Also, notice that Rachel's going to talk about the fact that whatever they were selling, it was good, meaning you've always got to have great content, but I think that goes without saying. However, I guess I needed to say it because it's just so important to remember. I also think that the timing of their email promotion was so smart. And in addition to that, Rachel's not going to explain every single detail about what they put in the email. I just want you to take a deep breath and just think, okay, I'm just learning the different strategies right now. Like, what is possible? So she's going to talk to you about how many emails they sent and what that basically looked like for them and the results that they got. But what I want you to think about in terms of writing an email promotion is that you want to connect with your audience. You want to talk about the value of whatever it is that you're going to offer them. You want to talk about the challenges that they're facing, where they're at right now, and how you're going to help them get to the next level. So these emails are promotional, but they also offer value by linking to this free training video that Rachel's going to talk about. So just keep an open mind here. You won't get every single detail, but I just want you to know that an email promotion is definitely a specific way that you can sell online without using webinars. Okay, so let's listen in to Rachel.
Hey, Amy. Thank you so much for having me. I am so honored to be doing this for you. So honored. Like, what is happening? I am Rachel. I am with the Tag Team. My partner, Amanda, and I tried something new this past November, and that's the email launch. You guys, this is 2 days of emails, literally 3 emails that we sent out, and we ended up making $30,000. Yes, you heard me. We were coming off a really tough launch that happened in October of 2017. It was tough because we'd had a lot of bumps in the road. We were launching a new website right about the time we started this launch. We had some issues with our emails. It was just bumpy. And we needed something easy and low stress. And that's when James Wedmore's email launch or email campaign came in. We were selling a product for the holidays. Our audience is mainly direct sellers. And so we were selling a product called Jingle Bell Rock Your Business that focused on 10 ideas that direct sellers could literally rock their business out using Facebook. So this email launch consisted of 3 emails. The first we sent on a Monday, and the last 2 we sent on a Tuesday. The first email consisted of just kind of an introduction to what we were doing and kind of led up to what video we had linked in the email, which was basically teaching them how to add more followers, more people to their groups or to their business pages. Because our methodology behind that was that we knew that these ideas that we were teaching them for their holiday ideas were going to revolve around Facebook. So they needed followers, they needed people in their groups first. So our free content was just that. So in the first email, we linked them to that video. And after they watched that video, there was an opt-in page. There was an opt-in so that they could purchase the Jingle Bell Rock Your Business for $47. We offered them a bonus as well, which was our previous training, which was Deck the Walls. 10 more ideas on how to rock out their holiday sales. And you guys, I mean, I'm not going to brag or anything, but these are pretty amazing ideas. Super fun, which direct sellers need during the holidays because that's their highest selling season. So then the emails on Tuesday, we sent one in the morning and one in the evening. Again, they linked to the video, that free training, which then obviously gave them the option of opting in and purchasing this training. I have to tell you, this was the easiest launch of our entire lives. We sent this to our entire list of 83,000+ people. Since it was only 3 emails, it didn't feel like we were spamming them. It didn't feel like we needed them to opt in. It was literally just a, hey, guess what? Here's some free training. And if you're interested, you can buy this training. We sold over $30,000 worth of this product, which was pretty incredible since we only sent out 3 emails. I do have 3 takeaways. The first is that it's short and sweet, and it really worked well with our audience. Coming off that 5-day challenge, this was kind of just so easy and simple, and our audience was really receptive to that. The second takeaway would be that it's a really great option for lower price products. It really is. It's something non-invasive. There's no pressure. There's really no commitment. They don't have to show up every day. It's just very easy, and there's free content. And that is so incredible to be giving content away to people. I think so often when people receive this free content, they're much more willing to kind of buy into what you're offering. And then the third takeaway is a big one, and that's that it's low stress. It was so low stress. And coming off, like I said before, a launch that had been really stressful, this was just so wonderful. And this was a product that we had to sell during the holidays. This is not a product that we could have sold in March or April. It had to be sold in November. So we had no choice but to step on it, even though we were still recovering from a tough launch. And let's be real, there are going to be those times, right, where we have these tough launches. This email campaign was absolutely a gift because we were able to reach a lot of people in a low stress, low commitment, less invasive way.
So that was pretty good, right? I mean, they did so well with this email promotion. Now, if you ever drink what Marie Forleo calls Compeerschlager, then you're likely thinking, wait a second, Amy, her business is bigger than mine. They have 83,000 people on their email list, and they were able to make that much money because they have a big audience. Not necessarily. I believe that you can still have really big results with an email promotion, even if you have, let's say, 4,000 or 5,000 people on your email list. If you are nurturing that email list, if they're hearing from you regularly, if they're loyal followers, then you can do an email promotion that is equally profitable for your business. I believe that to be so. Also, you can experiment with different pricing models. Rachel was saying that theirs was a $47 product. She might go up to about $97. Hey, you could even test something higher than that. It's all about experimenting and being nimble in your business so you can see what's going to work. Okay, so let's move on to strategy number 2 to sell online. And this one is to create a 5 to 7 day challenge that leads directly to a sale. So challenges are a smart strategy that can work really well in your business. I've since kind of shied away from those 21-day challenges or even 10-day challenges. I like these really short challenges that go directly into, okay, are you ready to buy? Now, Zach Spuckler was on my show. It was actually one of the top 5 most popular episodes. If you haven't listened to it, it's episode number 144. So just go to amyporterfield.com/144, and you can listen to Zach talk about the step-by-step strategy to create a 5-day challenge that leads to a sale. And he's got this great freebie to walk you through it as well, so that when you're ready to do it, you can look at his guide and you can follow along. It is really, really good. So I wanted to bring that up as the second way to sell online without a webinar. And usually people talk about challenges as just a list builder, but Zach says, no. They can build your list, but they can also sell. And so that's why we're putting a little twist on this. So episode number 144, if you like this type of strategy, it is really solid. Okay, moving on to strategy number 3. And this one is all about participating in an affiliate promotion. So instead of selling directly to your audience, you can consider partnering with a friend or a peer and use their audience to sell. When you have a really small email list, you don't have a big social media following, you can always create a stellar offer and then partner with somebody and sell it to their audience. It's usually a 50-50 split, but you can propose something different if you'd like. But I know somebody right now, I'm not going to name any names because I didn't get their permission to talk about this, but I know this guy that has had a one-on-one coaching business for a long time. And he decided to create an online course that really spotlights exactly what he's been doing in one-on-one coaching, but he wanted to scale it. So he wanted to take it to the masses. So he put it into a 12 module course. So 12 different training modules. So instead of paying big bucks to coach one-on-one with him, now you can buy this course that's maybe just a few $1,000s, but you get all the benefits of the results he promises. And so he didn't have a big email list, and he sure as heck didn't have a big online following. I mean, the guy was amazing at getting results, but one-on-one. And he didn't have a huge online presence. So he partnered with my friend who does have a huge online presence and who did go through this coaching with him one-on-one and got big results. So now they're partnering together and they're marketing this product to my friend's audience, and they're crushing it. So I thought that was interesting because it's exactly what I'm saying here. You might have the most amazing offer and you might be so spectacular in what you do, but you don't have an audience yet. So go collaborate with somebody who does have an audience that needs what you've created. So that's why it's so important that you build relationships and you network. And if you can, you go to some live events and you start to form real relationships. Because if you do it for the right reasons, and if you're there to support other people and you want to have these real relationships that go beyond just the computer, you never know where those relationships might lead. And they could lead to some really amazing business opportunities. But you got to go into it for the right reasons. You're there to form relationships. You're there to be there for people, support people. But again, you never know. So Don't just think that you can hide behind your computer, because those relationships can be incredibly powerful to help build your business as well. Okay, so I want to tell you one more thing about this affiliate promotion idea. I created a podcast episode called 7 Ways I've Collaborated with Friends and Influencers. And it's a really good episode because it talks about how my collaboration started and what they look like in terms of business and how profitable they were. So I highly recommend you check out this episode. It's number 180, amyporterfield.com/180. It will take you right there. Okay, moving on to strategy number 4, free consultation that leads to a pitch. I hate the word pitch. It sounds so salesy, but let me break this down for you. Let's say that you actually have a high-priced offer. Maybe you put together a small group coaching program that also offers one-on-one calls a few times over the next few months. And let's say your offer is $2,000, $3,000, maybe even higher. So one way to market that type of offer is with free consultation calls, or they're often called discovery calls, where somebody gets on a call with you and you offer some value and you also help them decide what their next step should be. So you kind of analyze their situation, you ask them questions, you really learn about who they are and where they want to go. You might even offer some free advice, some suggestions to help them move forward. And then if they are right for your program, product, or service, that's when you invite them in and you can make your pitch. Now, if I were to do this, this is not my style at all. I'm not really good at making a pitch on the phone. But if I were to do this, I would study how to do that right. I think there's a right way to pitch something via a discovery call, and there's a wrong way. And so I would do some research online. I would talk to my peers. I might even work with someone one-on-one for a few hours to really nail this down. But this can be incredibly lucrative, especially if you have a high-priced program, product, or service, because you likely don't need to get in 100 people for it to be profitable. You might be looking for 5 perfect clients for this offer you created. And so it might be worth getting on the phone, doing the discovery call, and if they're the right fit, moving them into your program. So I know a lot of my friends who use this strategy and they've had great success with it. But I think that you need to do your homework a little bit just to make sure that these discovery calls are really profitable and they actually work for you. Now, the great thing about doing free discovery calls or consultation calls is that you can market them online. You can talk about them on social media. You can run Facebook ads to get people to sign up for a free call with you. So they can be really valuable for people because they want some answers. And there's a lot of different ways that you can promote them online. But how to actually sell is once you get them on the call, moving them into your program, product, or service if they are a good fit. Okay, so number 5, and I really like this one too. I told you that number 1, the email promotion, was my favorite, especially because we got to hear from Rachel talk about her huge success. But number 5 is my second favorite. And that is that you can sell using a Facebook Live series. Now, you can make this your own and you can play around with this, but Facebook Live has become incredibly popular. And I've really thought about this and I've seen some people do it, but I've thought about this in my own business, what this might look like. And maybe you're not ready to take that webinar leap, but one baby step could be that you put together, let's say, a 3 or a 4-part Facebook Live series. So let's say it's a 4-part and you do it over a month. And every single week you are on Facebook Live teaching some new content. And you might be dropping some hints about a new program or offer of some sort that's coming out. Remember, we already talked about different offers you can put together. So you might be dropping some hints, you might be referencing it, but you're really teaching in at least the first 3 videos. And your call to action is some kind of free giveaway that will be aligned with whatever it is you plan to sell. So you're collecting emails, you're getting video views with this free content you're teaching in weeks 1, 2, and 3. And then week 4, you can present your offer. So you've been warming up your audience, you've been offering impeccable value, and now it's time to take them to the next step with you. And it might be a live online workshop. It might be the template packs. It could be any of the offers I talked about or anything else that you might have been thinking about. But here's why I love this idea of a Facebook Live series. The first thing is all of those video views can be retargeted when you present your offer in week 4. So let's say you keep the cart open for a week after the 4th video that you do, the 4th Facebook Live. Now you've presented the offer. Now you keep the cart open for a week, and you can take all those video views from weeks 1 through 4 and retarget all of them with ads that lead to your offer. I love retargeting video views because it's considered a warmer audience. The other thing is that you're building your email list by offering free giveaways each week leading up to the offer. And so if, let's say, they're not ready to buy right away, now you've started to build your list every single week with these videos. The other cool thing is that these videos can live on, meaning after they're live, they can live on your Facebook page as recordings. And you can run ads to them. You can get even more views by running ads directly to these videos if you want. But even after the promotion is over, that video 4 can send people to a wait list. And so you can even make a video like, hey, this offer is now expired, but I'm going to come back out with it soon. And so if you want to be on that wait list, if you want to be the first to know, just give me your name and email and I will email you the second it becomes available. Now you're growing a wait list after your promotion has ended. So I always love a good wait list. When B-School opens up, I always have my bonus page go to a wait list. We've got hundreds of people that signed up throughout the year that are interested, that now when I open it up again, I already have people that I can market to. So I love a good wait list. So think about Facebook Live as a promotional series, and you'll want to map it out on your calendar. You'll want to tell people that it's coming. You'll want to email people about it, let them know when you're going live. I would do the same day of the week and same time every single week for, let's say, 4 weeks. And you can play around with this, add a few bells and whistles if you want, but I think it's a great way to sell online. And I think it also gets you ready for doing webinars because you're getting that experience of being on video, delivering content. After a Facebook Live series, it's smooth sailing right into a webinar series that could be even more profitable when done right. And backing up a bit, one more thing I forgot to mention is that in weeks 1, 2, and 3, if you deliver impeccable content and your call to action is some kind of freebie that people have to give you their name and email to get, well, when you get to week 4, you present your offer, people may or may not buy, or maybe they miss video 4, but you have a bunch of emails now that you've collected over the last few weeks. So now you can use those emails and send out some promotional emails letting them know of your brand new offer that was just released and any bonuses you might want to include, and let them know how long they have until the offer expires. So you can send out some promotional emails after this Facebook Live series, so making it even more powerful. So just something to think about. Okay, so there you have it. We've gone through the 5 different ways that you can sell online. I'll give you a quick recap. My favorite, the email promotion. Number 2, the 5 to 7 day challenge. If you're interested, if you like the idea of doing a challenge to grow your list, but also sell quickly, you got to check out Zach Spuckler's strategy. I talk about it in episode 144. Number 3, participate in an affiliate promotion. Number 4, do free consultations that lead to a potential pitch if the person is a right fit for your program, service, or some kind of coaching package you might want to put together. And then number 5, a Facebook Live series. So there you have it. I hope you found this mini training valuable, and I hope you implement one of the offer strategies or selling strategies into your business. And I want to hear about your success as well. Speaking of wanting to hear about your success, did you know that we just launched a brand new online marketing made easy podcast community on Facebook? Yep, this is something I've wanted to do for over a year now. We finally took the leap. It's up and running, and it's been so incredibly valuable. I absolutely love it. So for those of you who are already part of my podcast community, thank you so much for being a part of it. And for those of you who want to join our community, you'll never miss a podcast episode because we post about it in the group every single week. We offer some extra freebies that we don't actually offer on the podcast. And if you want to see some of the behind the scene videos of the making of some of these episodes, we're going to include that into the group as well. We're just going to do a lot of new things that we've never done before, and I would love for you to come join us. So go to amyporterfield.com/podcast community. That's amyporterfield.com/podcast community. It will take you into the private Facebook group. Request access. We'll get you in there within 24 hours, and I can't wait for you to join us. We're already having a lot of fun, and we'd love for you to be there as well. Okay, so I can't wait to talk to you again next week. Until then, make it a great week, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.
Thanks for listening to the Online Marketing Made Easy podcast at www.amyporterfield.com.